So let us start. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. 99%, 9% of the people wants to find happiness. How? By the sense organs. I feel the sense of the touch and I'm happy. Pay attention. The moment I feel the sense of, say for example, sense of touch, what happens? My mind says as if I am inside the body, and there the delusions start. What it means? I am contained in the body. The moment I feel I am contained in the body, I am separate from the world. And then I look inside. I find mind is behind all the senses. Sense of touch, it is the skin, which is an object, which is an instrument. How can I say that, I feel the sense of touch by the skin? So when we are aware of the mind, we are living within. And then what happens? Then we see mind is also an instrument. Behind there is a consciousness, and that consciousness is of the nature of happiness. But we are caught by the sensation of touch and the smell and the sight, etc., etc. That is the problem. That is the delusion. Look again. Let us see, look again. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. So here the things becomes little clear. Oh, peace. So first there is a sensation of sight and touch and the smell, and then there is a peace. No, the peace is already inside. Where it is inside? Oh, it is present inside the body. Again, pay attention. Mind creates a delusion. I am contained inside the body. And then where is the peace? Oh, the peace is somewhere inside. So when we explore, mind though experiences the peace, but when we go behind the mind, why to go behind the mind is an instrument. In deep sleep it is sleeping. I don't experience happiness or peace. But peace is still there. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. The Master gave two examples of peace and happiness is not the result of the object in contact with the senses. It is okay, let there be a contact, but I should be aware that this contact should not confine me within the body. The moment it confines within me, within the body, then mind creates a delusion. I am separate from the world, as if something is coming from outside. Oh, very subtle ignorance. And then we also see mind, you are only an instrument. Consciousness is all pervading. I am that consciousness. That is the meaning. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Now happiness, then peace, and then sense of completeness. Sense of completeness or wholeness. So it means that wholeness means what? It is always present, all pervading. Where? In all locations, in every relationship. In every relationship. My honey is crazy. No, it is wholeness. It is always present. It comes from you. You are the nature of that consciousness. So that is what the fourth line says. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. It is the beginning, it is also the end. It is the practice and it is the non-practice also, depending on the level of our seeker. Do you experience the sensation, comfort and steadiness? Yes. Do you experience being carefree? I stress on in the step of being carefree, you see two things. One is the known and the object, and other is the knower. I see you through my eyes, so eyes are the seer, you are the seen. Or I can say, you are the known, I am the knower. This applies to you also. And now let me look at, can I look at the sense organs? Yes, I can feel, I can be aware of the sense organs. So, mind is the seer of all the sense organs. Senses are the seen. When you see your computer, sense organs are the seer. Computer cannot see you. You can see it. So because you can see it, you are the seer. You can apply the same example to each and every object that we feel, see, sense. Okay. So what is the principle? The seen cannot see the seer. Computer cannot see the sense organs. I think I should be clear. Now I see the sense organs through the mind. Sense organs cannot see the mind. Mind can see all the sense organs. Mind can see all the sense organs. You just see. This is I use wrongly. It is where knowledge practice. Practice knowledge is not a practice basically. So you see, computer cannot see me, I can see the computer through the sense organ. The senses are the seer and computer is the object. Now the senses are the object and the mind is the subject or seer. Okay, now check. Can I see the mind? Yes, I can see the mind. No. No. I feel I'm upset. I see the mind. I see that, I'm happy. It is the happy state of the mind. Also, someone perceives the mind. Or someone is a seer behind the mind. Yes. Who is that seer? That is my true nature. So, as with the principles, we know the object cannot see the senses, but the senses can see the object, and senses cannot see the mind. Mind can see the senses. Similarly, mind cannot see the real self, but that real self can see not only the mind, senses, objects of the entire world, and that is the meaning. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. So what happens? I dropped all the delusions, and now I am in that state. This is what the Master is saying. Mathematically, logically, without any introducing any cult, dogma, belief, religion, God, soul, etc., etc. Open your eyes. Can we be aware of that ultimate seer? So you have found the seer behind the mind. Can there be two seers? No. Can first seer is seen by the second seer? Find it out, there is nothing. So what is that? Why would we say ultimate reality? That is why we say it is ultimate. Because you cannot find any other seer. Mind is the object, sense organs is the object, world outside is an object. There is only one subject. That is the journey. But in order to understand and recognize this, I have to understand the functioning of the senses, functioning of the mind, and my perception of the entire world. Perception of the entire world is physical. Perception through the mind is subtle. And behind that is a causal. So that is why we have a model of three layers of reality. Physical reality, subtle reality, causal reality, and behind that causal there is an ultimate reality. That is what we are, is what we say, is the real self. Take an example again, the delusion of touch. I touch, I feel the sensation. I feel the sensation. So now you see the delusion of touch arises from the belief, it's a false belief, that our physical body is separate, solid entity, confined by the skin, as if it is a balloon-like structure or a house-like structure, whatever we feel. Our sense of touch is limited to this surface. Limited to this surface I am touching. This leads me to believe that I am contained within the body. I feel the sense of touch. I am within the body. I feel the sensation of, see you. So I am within the body. I feel the smell. I am within, I am contained in the body. That is the problem. I don't inquire. I am contained within the body, separate from the rest of the world. There the problem comes. I am contained within this body, separate from the rest of the world. This is the belief. I did not inquire it. Master is saying inquire. So my hand feels a cool table. The sensation is confined to the skin of my hand. Confined, limited. What is the delusion? You identify with the physical sensation, thinking that my hand is cold. My hand is cold. I am contained in the body. This creates an illusion that I is separate self and I am experiencing this external thing. All these are different layers of the delusion. In order to be very clear and get rid of all layers of the delusion, we have to understand causal, subtle, and physical, the way our masters have created this model. Now, as I explained in the Mangala Charan, consciousness is the all-pervading reality present both the hand and the table. It is the awareness that allows for the sensation of the cold to be experienced, but it is not bound by the hand or the table. The feeling is a temporary event, but awareness continues. Awareness continues. Consciousness continues. And that consciousness is I am. That consciousness is I am. How do I find that I am separate from you? Physical boundary. The body. True reality is unbounded. Consciousness is the space in which all physical forms appear. Because everything is present in the consciousness. Say, I feel the sense of touch with the mouse. Consciousness is all pervading. And in that consciousness, my body is present, my hand is present, mouse is present. That is why I feel the sense of touch. Otherwise, there is no possibility. I'm trying to make you all understand in a different way. The senses provide fragmented, partial data, like a blurry photograph. You see the blurry photograph. It provides a sensation of touch is very limited. But consciousness is the complete and the whole reality that makes all the fragments possible. Did you understand? Let us understand a camera, a microphone, or a thermometer, three sensations. They each give you a limited data about the world. The person watching the video. Now, the person watching the video, listening to the audio, and reading the temperature. That person is aware of all the data without any of the devices. I see you, I feel the sensation of coolness, I see the light. So I see the light, I need not to pay attention to my eyes, I need not to pay attention to my skin. I feel, I perceive. The person watching, you all are watching this video feed and listening to the audio. You are aware of all the data without being aware of the computer. Little challenging? I don't see it's too much of challenging. Let us understand totally in a different way. Pay attention to that. What is that? There is a understand in a different way. What is that? There is a king. King is nothing but the consciousness. represents the ultimate reality. It is self-luminous. I made it very clear last time. Now, who is the chief minister or a governor? Mind. It processes the data received from the senses based on the memory. If the memory is not there and I perceive anything, I cannot process the data. And then who is the royal advisor is the intellect. It identifies, discerns information, and who are the guards? Guards are the senses. Pay attention. Sense organs are limited in their perception. I can see you through my eyes, I can hear you through my ears, so it means both are limited. Feel what is directly in front of them with a specific limited range. But the king is aware of everything. King is aware of everything. That is another way. What last time someone discussed about it, that I woke up with my mind racing to solve a problem from my dream. I immediately recognized, why are you trying to solve a dream problem? Dream does not exist. Sensation of touch. I simply become aware of inside. I am contained in the body. No, I am that consciousness. Finished. As someone also said, I realize that I am the creator of the cause and the receiver of the effect. Creator of the cause. Let me touch you. I feel the sensation. I receive the effect. But when I say, let me touch you, I have already limited myself. Why limited that I am the body? Let the one body touch the other body. Through the sense organ, mind processes the data, and my mind claims that I am the mind, and then I fall into belief. What we are trying to understand, that we have to understand each layer, the causal layer, subtle layer, physical layer. When I understand all the three layers, I can perceive what is happening in the mind. I can perceive what is happening in the sense organs, what is happening in the world around, and then there is something, some entity in me, nothing happens. It is constant, it is permanent. Yes, someone also said last week, that is very important. Limited perception creates the delusion. There is not a single object that exists independently. We have a brief introduction today. Now, on that basis, if you see, consciousness plus satoguna is Ishwar. Consciousness plus Raju and Tamoguna is what we are, individual. Consciousness plus Tamoguna is the material world. But that is happening at the causal level. We cannot see. We see the effect at the subtle level. I feel some sensation where in the mind. It is subtle level. So that subtler sensation, because of this is an effect, and the cause is at the causal level. It is the play of three gunas, play of five elements, and combination of either combination of the consciousness plus Raju and Tamoguna, consciousness plus Tamoguna. That is what we are trying to understand. Once you understand and you just be aware of that understanding, everything happens. Everything happens. Take a simple, again a metaphor or an example. When consciousness reflected in the mind that is full of satoguna, sense organ that is also satoguna, you have the right perception. What is right perception? You don't feel that you are separate from the world. You get rid of that delusion. In order to reach to that state of recognition, I have to understand this entire model of causal, subtle, physical. We also understood the Prakriti and the creation, Prakriti and the Maya. We understand that we are an individual, means consciousness, ultimate reality is there, plus Rajutama, Rajoguna. That is okay, I am an individual. But question comes that how the entire creation is placed before me, if I say so, placed before us. So then we go to Ishwar, causal level. Satoguna plus consciousness is the Ishwar. That Ishwar is the controller. Ishwar, you can say, and normal understanding is a God. That is the controller, but question comes again, that controller says that let the consciousness and tamoguna go together. It should create a material world. Why it should create a material world? An area of enjoyment. That area of enjoyment is the world. The instrument of enjoyment is the sense organ. A place for these instruments is the body. I am repeating again. Little complex, but not difficult to understand. If perception in the world is not there, perception of different object in the world is not there, then what is the use of my eyes? What is the use of my ears if the sound is not there? So that innermost self, that Ishwar, so-called manifested the world outside. It is an area of enjoyment. Then it manifested the instrument of enjoyment. Then it a place for these instruments. So place for these instruments at the physical level. Behind there is a subtle level. Behind there is a causal level. So we are talking of the causal level, and then we say, but why? Why 5 elements in 3 gunas? They have a different permutation and combination. So one permutation and combination is the eye, second is the ear, third is like all the 10 sense organs. But where they have to be located? They have to be located in the physical body. So do you see the causal, subtle, and the physical? They all function together. So the master is saying you have to remove mentally. You have to transcend the physical. You have to transcend the subtle. You have to transcend the causal to find the reality. Then the problem comes. So it means we have not to only understand consciousness plus tamoguna is the material world. How the material world is composed of? We say it is composed of 5 elements. So it means consciousness plus tamoguna, that is the material world, and it has the 5 elements. 5 elements. Clear? But 3 gunas are constantly playing together. Each element has a primary quality. What is the quality of the space? If the space is not there, can you hear the sound? What the science has understood in these 300 to 400 years, we have understood it more than 10,000 years. Now see, what exactly is the quality of the space sound? What is the quality of the air is the touch. If the air is not there, how can you feel the sensation of touch? We need an instrument, we need a medium. I'm just going down into the subtle and the physical level. What is the nature of the fire? We use the word fire, means light. Without that light, I cannot see the form. Without water, I cannot feel the taste. Without earth, I cannot feel the smell. So these five elements at the causal level, we are talking at the causal level, which is invisible. So it has the property that manifests at the physical level. Let us understand again. You have to categorize them. Sato guna means knowledge, right? So the space plus the sato guna, it has to give one sense organ. What is sense organ? The instrument of knowledge. So it means all the five sense organ have one common factor is the sato guna, but the five elements are changing. Sato guna plus the space, sound. Sato guna plus the air, touch. Sato guna plus the light or fire, form. Sato guna plus the water, taste. Sato guna plus the earth is the smell. So it is whatever I feel, see, I feel foul taste, a foul smell, I feel good fragrance, I feel the sense of the tension. It is all a play of the gunas and the five elements. Answer is yes. It is not me. It is not me. That is why we have to understand this complex phenomena, how it is happening at the subtle level and how it is happening at the physical level. I see you all. I am contained in the body. I am delusion. I see you all. That very seeing is behind the mind. I am free. But when we understand this clearly, we know the entire process. Example, from the sattvic aspect of five elements, five sense organs of perception arise. That is why ear related to sound in the space, skin related to touch, and I'm just giving an introduction. Skin related to touch in the air, eyes are related to form in the fire, tongue is related to taste in the water, taste, water. Nose is related to smell and the earth element. These are the functional powers of perception, not just the physical structures. Again, I just give another example. Sattvic aspect of particular element in the sense organ interacts with the tamasic aspect of the same element in the external world. I can see the form. I can see this wall is solid and white only. Consciousness plus tamoguna, it has created a delusion of the wall. My perception is through the Satoguna, and I see it is a wall. So there is an interaction of Rajasic Guna, Sattvic Guna, Tamasic Guna with all the five elements. That is just what are the five elements? Tamoguna. What are the three gunas? Is Prakriti. Prakriti creates a delusion. So we fall into the delusion and then we say, you don't love me or you hate me. This is a foul smell. This is a good smell based on our likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes. Who causes dislikes and dislikes? The mind. So where is the scheme of the mind comes in between? So we say the mind is formed by the combination of all the five sense organs of perception. Where there is a mind, there are five sense organs. One may manifest, one may not manifest. I'm laying a foundation for the next 4 verses. That is why I'm talking. It seems to be a dry, but if you get interested into that, what makes me to see you? Or my eyes, I take it. My eyes is a part of the body. Okay, my eyes is a part of the body. Let me remove the consciousness. Can you see? No. Let me remove the mind. No. Sometimes even the mind is absent. Absent-minded. I see you and still I don't see you. Oh, it means the mind has also has a role to play. But behind the mind, consciousness has to be there. This is what the master is pointing out. So why we have to understand the physical, subtle and the causal. Step by step, we have to leave that. Mind can experience sensations internally without the external sense organ. What is this? Fantasizing, desiring, imagination. I can create those fantasies. So in this, by side, we have an intellect. Is presented as the same mind but with a function of clarity, function of discernment. I will repeat it in a different way to make you clear. As I said, Sattva Guna aspect of 5 elements makes 5 sense organs. Rajoguna of all the 5 elements makes your motor organs. Rajoguna 5 elements, the 5 organs of action: speech, hands, feet, genitals, and anus. These are the powers of speaking, holding, walking, expression, and procreation. 5 elements. Elements of 5 elements plus Rajoguna. Where I am coming to. 5 elements, 5 motor organs, 5 sense organs, 15 plus 2. Normally we say mind and ego, or mind and intellect. So subtle body is composed of 17 parts. Causal we have done. Subtle, 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs, 5 elements, mind and the intellect. Memory and the ego are included into that. These 17 elements consist of our subtle body. Subtle body. Subtle body. I cannot see inside. I cannot see the faculty of my eyes inside, which enables me to see. Physical eyes are just an instrument at the physical level. The subtle body is the vehicle for consciousness and travels with the individual, so-called individual, after the death. We will understand it clearly. Where is the difference between now the causal body and the subtle body and the physical body? Let me give you one more example. The house is used to explain the relationship between the body and the sense organ. The body is like the house, and the sense organs are like the furnishings and equipment within the house, each serving a specific purpose for utility and enjoyment. We are understanding, again I am repeating, three levels. Causal level, we cannot see. So as the science starts from the last product, the effect, then it goes to the cause. Cause becomes the, and gradually it wants to reach to the highest. We start from the highest. Consciousness is the ultimate reality. Consciousness plus satoguna, innermost self, the inner controller of the entire cosmos. Consciousness plus rajoguna as an individual, jiva we say. Consciousness plus matter is the material world. And at the subtle level, we see these are five subtle elements. Play of the three gunas. We have five sense organs. Play of the three gunas and the five elements. Five motor organs at the subtle level. And then it comes down at the physical level in the form of the body. But the consciousness remains independent. Consciousness remains independent. I want to recognize and realize who am I? So I have to separate false from the real. False means constantly changing. It changes name and the form and the substance and the quality. So then there is a unchanging aspect, that is the consciousness. Now question comes that how this changing and the unchanging seems to go together. They are not together, but they appear. It is an apparent reality. That is what the science has found out. The matter, it is a limited perception through my eyes. So we say what is changing is the apparent reality keeps on changing. So first find out whatever is changing. The body is changing, sense organs, motor organs, the mind and the intellect and the ego. But question is how it is changing because of the three gunas. But can we understand easily? Yes, there are five elements. So the entire cosmos, including my body, is also composed of the five elements. So is there any specific characteristic of these five elements which I can recognize and understand? At the subtle and the physical level, yes. The space, sound, sense organ, they are related. The space, sound and the eyes, they are related. So you remove the space, you cannot hear the sound. Ears, not the eyes. You cannot hear. So it means that is very intelligent manifestation of this entire cosmos in relationship to the body, sense organs, mind, intellect, and ego. Just let me give you one more example. We have the metaphor of the wave in the ocean. Very simple metaphor. All water is wave. But because of the name and the form of a wave, because of the delusion, we recognize wave is separate from the ocean. So we are trying to understand how this form appears before me, before my mind, why it is happening. And it is happening because of superimposition we discussed in the very beginning. And superimposition is caused by the three gunas. Three gunas plays with the five elements. So there is a constant interplay of the five elements, three gunas, physical and the subtle bodies, and ultimately it results into ignorance. So once I understand the very process, I can get rid of that delusion easily. So our master says that areas of the enjoyment is the world outside. So that world has to manifest. But how it has to manifest? It has to manifest consciousness plus the tamoguna. But then I need an instrument of enjoyment. Instrument of enjoyment are the sense organs. So sense organ must provide me the knowledge. So the consciousness, basically consciousness plus five satoguna plus five elements give the sense organs, but I have to work for my enjoyment. So rajoguna of five elements plus consciousness gives rise to five motor organs. One thing is very clear: consciousness is present everywhere in one or the other form, hidden or otherwise. Let us participate in the discussion what we have understood, so that I can have another next session based on your understanding. Yes, anyone wants to take lead. Just remember consciousness, Ishwar, innermost self, individual, material world, because of the three gunas, subparts, five elements. Then the five elements further interacts with the three gunas. It gives rise to the subtle body and the physical body. Yes, anyone? Dennis, you want to go ahead?
I think, or as you mentioned today, that one of the layers of our delusion is perceiving myself and others as separate entities. Our eyes see that my body is different and separate from your body. But the eyes don't see that the body consists of molecules, molecules consist of atoms, atoms consist of electrons and other particles, and electrons, according to modern quantum physics, are essentially electromagnetic waves. And these electromagnetic waves are not bounded by anything. All electromagnetic waves are in continuous interaction with other electromagnetic waves. And it's not like wave A interacts with wave B only, but doesn't interact with wave C and others. It's every wave interacts with all other waves at the same time. And this is, again, according to modern quantum physics, it's not It's not some magic. And this in turn means that that you and I are in continuous interaction at the quantum level, but our sense organs just don't see it. And there is no way at the quantum level to tell where my body ends and where your body begins.
Beautiful.
One of the experiments come to mind that, again, from quantum physics that I've learned some time ago, about two quantum particles that are taken apart at a very large distance. And somehow it happens that when the state of one particle is measured, it tells something about the state of the second particle.
Law of coherence.
I think it is called quantum entanglement. And when the physicists discovered it for the first time, they just were so puzzled they could not explain what is happening. And the most interesting thing that they still cannot explain why does it happen. The fact that it works is not arguable because this fact is now used in modern quantum computers and in communications, in encryption, and in other fields. So it's undoubtedly that it works, but there is no explanation why it happens. And unless we assume that there is something behind those particles that are so universal and uniform that in fact these particles are this something, and this is how they know about each other regardless of the distance between them.
I will pick up the last point. There is something behind the functioning of these particles in the world. That is intelligence. So, only difference in the Eastern wisdom and the science, we are looking for subjective reality. So, we start with a question that how come such an intelligent operation is taking place in the entire cosmos and galaxy? I think, Dennis, but you all will appreciate a millimeter change in the trajectory of the earth, everything will be disturbed. Everything will be disturbed. Forget about it. We change ourselves, we get disturbed. An inch, a millimeter of change in the axis of the earth. So what Eastern wisdom says that there is someone, there is some intelligence is there, it means there is a knower is there. And that, if the knower is there, consciousness has to be there. And if the consciousness has to be there, it is what the God is. It is what the soul is. And that is from there we explain consciousness plus satoguna. Intelligent operation is happening, is taking place everywhere in the galaxy, in the solar system, in your house, in my house, everywhere. But intelligence, the same intelligence, or you can say the same knower, manifests as the innermost self. Same consciousness manifesting as an individual, but the individual is guided by the delusion. Eastern wisdom says that you remove that illusion and you see that synchrony, that symphony is working all the time. you as an individual entity. That is what the awakening is. That is what little bit difficult. Terry, you want to say something?
Well, don't ridiculous. It's just fast, right? I'm just
Yeah. Even though you see we are talking of the quantum physics at the theoretical level, but its application is proven. So we cannot say it is only theory. It is practical. We talk about the theoretical physics, but the same way I'm also talking, it appears to you as a theoretical physics. No, it's satoguna in my eyes, satoguna in my mind. From where it is coming, consciousness plus satoguna, innermost self. And I see you are a wonderful person. The next moment I see you are a crazy person, rajoguna. It's not theory, it's very much practical. No, you did the wrong thing. That is why, I said you crazy. No, my limited perception. My limited perception caused me this, and that is what happens in everyday relationship, married, single, divorce, attachment, detachment, enemy, friendship. We can all get rid of it by understanding all the three levels. Yes. Randy, you want to say something? Did you learn something from your relation? You told us that, someone is a professor of nuclear physics.
Oh, my aunt. Yeah, I haven't seen her or spoken to her since I met her, so not yet. I don't know what to say today. I'm still processing. I think it comes back to some of our regular points, like the way that we process things happens in the mind, right? It's not what's necessarily actually happening. And so there lies the delusion, both of pleasure and problems. But yeah, today was kind of a lot for me, the interplay of the gunas and the material world. But I think the takeaway, right, is that there's consciousness behind all of it. You can count on that. So I don't know. I'm still over here working on it. Thank you.
Yes, we have to work. David, you want to say?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, today the word that just comes up for me is hierarchy, and what I mean by that is that we, I just, for whatever reason, I'm reflecting on this astronaut that just passed away recently. I forgot his name, and he was. I saw a news clip of him, and he said, when he got up in the spaceship, and he said he was able to take his thumb and put it out like that, and the world was behind his thumb. That made him realize how small the world is. And that's just stuck in my head. And when you look at what we're doing here from a hierarchical perspective, we think it's flat. We think we are the mind. We think we are the body. We think that we are all of these things. We think it's flat, but really there's this hierarchy there. And then when you look at the hierarchy, we need to make sure we have, no delusions along the way. We need to have the right filters so that we can the consciousness is just this massive infinite thing that we are, and for human beings it's hard to comprehend that because everything in our physical world is physical and has an end or an edge or whatever. So I'm just blown away with kind of that hierarchical aspect of this discussion. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. You made a point, a hierarchy. You start from the physical. I see you. Without the eyes cannot see you. Let us find the composition of the eyes. So the science can definitely find the composition of the eyes in the why the light falls on the skin does not create an image, and why the light falls on the eyes create an image. Intelligence. What is that intelligence? It is consciousness. I'm just giving you a very rough example. Why my nose only feel the smell? Why it cannot see? Intelligence. It matter. Does the matter contain the intelligence? Now ask yourself. If the matter contains the intelligence, there is no need to study Eastern wisdom. Finished. Then then you need not to study anything of the Eastern wisdom. It is finished. If the matter contains that intelligence, but matter contains a specific quality because of that consciousness. This is what we are saying. This is what that ability in the phone, ability to hold, give you a solid structure. There is some property. If you have some property, it is intelligence. If you have intelligence, it is the rule, it is the presence of consciousness that does it. So now once we understand this, then what is this consciousness? And that we have already understood in the very beginning, that this consciousness is Satchidanand, absolute existence, consciousness and bliss. One more thing that amazes me, the way the masters, can you find out one quality of the space that is unchanging? Can you find one quality of the air that is unchanging? We say the real self is unchanging. So at the physical level, we find that spaciousness of the space in the ether cannot be compromised anytime, anywhere, in any condition. Go to the galaxy, come to your small room. You see, that unchanging aspect coming from the consciousness. The rest is changing. Air is changing, but there is some specific quality of the air. It means the consciousness, intelligence is present there. You say intelligence, you say consciousness. This master will explain it further. Yes, do you want to say anything, Samir?
Yes, sir. I have noticed one thing in my daily routine, that Rajoguna, Satoguna and Tamoguna, they come every day.
Yeah.
They are in mind all the time.
Yes.
But the thing is that as we keep on progressing, and the Satoguna is it creates more duration.
Yes.
Means the duration of Satoguna becomes more day by day. In suppose there is 10-hour time, then Satoguna used to be 5 minutes. Now
Yes.
Satoguna is 4 hours, and it is not that they are absent, but the dominance of Satoguna is more than the Rajoguna is and this Tamoguna. This, and I have seen one thing, as I am dropping the mind, the problems which are created by the mind or which were not created by the mind, I am able to solve those or problems very smoothly now. Means this I have. So more I am in Satoguna, more I am peaceful, more I am alert, and more I am worldly than I was before.
Beautiful.
I may not be able to explain what I am telling.
No.
People say you drop, the world is lost, but you are more worldly when you are in Satoguna. Because you are alert, you are aware, and you are noticing everything. When you are Tamoguna and Rajoguna, then your mind is absent. Then you are not noticing what is happening around you. People may cheat you, people may make fool of you.
Yeah.
But when you are in Satoguna, you are alert and aware.
Yes.
And you notice and you are very means attentive and very alert towards all the things. So I think more you are in Satoguna, more you can deal the world easily and very smoothly. This is my
Yes, beautiful point that you mentioned. This will also help us. Do we see Satoguna? No. Can I become aware of the Satoguna? Yes. It gives me the right perception, right knowledge, right action, right thought, right speech. So if I continue to live in Satoguna, even though I don't see it, I live in Satoguna in my mind, and that translates into action at the physical level. What action it translates? A sense of kindness, a sense of oneness, a sense of belongingness. That is what the Patanjali says. You should be non-violent. You should not be attached to someone. So either you start learning from the lower level. No, you should not be attached. Or you start increasing your Satoguna. So once you understand that, I should be very clear what is right, good and proper to do in my life. That is enough. And that leads you to the Satoguna. So what I wanted to say from Samir's point, Satoguna, I see it? No, I don't see it. And then I bring the Satoguna into my mind at the subtler level. And that Satoguna in the mind drives me to think, speak and act in the world outside. It brings a better world. It manifests a better world. It manifests to me as a very happy and peaceful world. And if I continue to live into that state, one thing becomes very clear. I am responsible for my suffering and I am responsible for my joy. You see, combination of these gunas. Terry, this is Eastern wisdom. You see that it's very subtle. We have a lot to learn. Simply saying that I'm awakened, I have very beautiful sensation and sensation represents awakening. No. Sensation lives in the field of 5 elements and 3 gunas. We want to transcend that. Anyhow, that is how we'll have next session again. Next week we will go in a different way. Thank you very much. We'll meet again.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you, Papa.
Oh, we heard you. Yes, you are here.